Hey boys, welcome to the PR this week. We're week 9. This is the last week of the first, I guess, round robin, as we like to say. As I like to say. I don't think other people say that, but I do. So I finally get to face off against the other co-host, right?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, I can't wait to give you your first loss of the year, man. So,
I can wait, you know? I can really wait. You don't need to give it to me now.
yeah, I don't know about that, buddy.
Well, this week is the Rainbow Edition because we have 6 different tiers for our rankings, and we've reached into a
Also,
different color spectrum.
also known as the LGBTQ edition, but no, it doesn't tell you that.
Mm.
But here at the
See, I
Little
ain't
Dicks
PC, so I
PR,
don't care.
here at the Little Dicks PR, we are very big supporters of the LGBT community.
Let's just say half of us are. That half doesn't
Anyway,
necessarily include me, but I won't condone you. I just don't agree with you. Anyway, let's move on.
oh God, that
Shout it from
wasn't
the
planned at
rooftops.
all.
Do it.
Wasn't planned at all. I'm shouting it this week for my boy Cooper Cup having a disgusting week of like 2 tugs and over 200 yards. Y'all gave me shit. Y'all gave me shit at the draft when I was a hypocrite and I gave Rainey 2 third round picks 2020, but I took this absolute stud of a man away from Rainey. That's right, Cooper Cup, the number 3 fantasy receiver right now, who's going to be a top tier keeper. Maybe not top tier, but he's going to be a solid keeper option. You all gave me shit and you laughed. Oh, look at this guy giving away his picks, but it was worth it. And this trade is the best trade I've made in my fantasy career. Boom.
Can I ask you who the number 2 is?
Shut up.
Okay, let's move on to the trade reports, or
We
maybe
all
even the
know
number 1. I don't know. Um,
exactly.
yeah. So let's get on with these trades. So Melvin Gordon gets traded to Sterling, and Josh ended up getting a 2023 and Tevin Coleman for him. So this is a week after it happened. A week after Tevin Coleman got, what was it, 4 tugs
4 tugs.
and like 17 or to 20 touches. So
He
that's,
only had 13 touches, I believe, actually, which is
oh, like touches or carries. I guess it doesn't really matter either way. Coleman Coleman's playing better than Gordon, and it might be better rest of the season, but um, it's hard to keep a guy like that. So I don't really blame Sterling, but he might have paid a little bit too much.
exactly. I think Coleman's a very going to be very highly efficient in that San Fran option, but San Fran offense, but isn't going to be seeing as consistent of a workload as a guy like Gordon is, and he could potentially go pretty stellar offense. Who knows? We'll have to see in the offseason, but I think he will end up being the better keeper long term. So could be good trade for both.
Yeah, and he had an extra third, so he couldn't even use it anyway.
exactly. Next trade up here, crickets on this one. We have Daryl Henderson and a 2029 from Noah for a 2028 from Tyson.
It's
You know,
my
it's a very
original eighth. Just
is it your
just
original
a
eighth?
little
Did
FYI.
you have did you have 2 of them or what?
No, I traded my eighth to Tyson earlier, and I just got it back now.
Oh, yeah, I got a cricket on here and I say who cares? Cuz this trade is meaningless to the rest of the league, but I mean it's a win-win for these boys. Tyson gets his handcuff at a small price and Noah gets a player that he didn't have room on the bench off of the bench and an upgraded pick. So can't go wrong, but who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, Henderson had more touches than Gurley last game, but that was because he had like 10 plus in the fourth quarter when the Rams were up by like 2 scores. So not necessarily. If you're looking at the box score, it's a lot different than if you're watching the game. So next trade, we got a little baby Chark over here, and I hate these stupid conditional picks because it messes up me when I'm trying to trade to someone and I'm looking at their picks and I'm like, oh, they have these picks. No, they don't. They actually have these picks. Anyway, so Chark in a sixth for Hunter Henry and a third. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, Dylan got a better pick obviously out of the deal, so he got the third that he needed because he gave up his third earlier in the season. But I mean, you're getting a guy that's probably going to sit on your bench and or start if you want to play him over Ingram, which might be good because the way Ingram's been playing with Danny Dimes versus Manning has been crazy different. But Josh gets a nice upgrade at receiver for his receiver three, who's a top six receiver right now, I think.
He
Um,
is number 5, but he
Number
hasn't
five.
had his bye yet. So
Yeah, but it's really nice for you, especially since Sutton's gonna be hurting a little bit with Flacco gone. So yeah, overall good trade for you, and Dylan's getting picks for next year, which is kind of what a lot of the lower teams are looking at, which isn't necessarily bad for him.
yeah, he might end up using that pick in the off season to trade for a keeper, one of the leftovers, one of these stud teams at the top of the PR. So it could end up helping.
Yeah, he could have just kept Chark too, though, so
Yeah, he could have
probably
done that,
not,
but
but I that'd be a
well,
little risky.
the issue is he doesn't want to keep 3 receivers.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm sure he would have considered that.
wants that RB.
Wait, is he keeping OBJ? Oh, ugh, bleh,
Ugh. Pick up the
bleh.
week.
Pickup of the week: Tyson Jonu Smith. Look at this thick man with a thick neck. Look at that neck; it's actually girthier than his head. Oh my! And that neck is representative of how much of a beast he was this week. Good call, Tyson. I was laughing for picking this beast up, but he had a beast game for you, you beast. Good pickup when there was pretty limited pickups the rest of the week. A nice little. If you look closely on the screen, you can see. If you look really closely, you can see Corey in the house, poking out of his house, waving.
Oh my gosh. I think you need
It's
to
still
find a
there.
better word than just beast. Just you can't just say beast over and over again to
Wait,
compliment the guy. This
did I
is
do that?
it's fine though.
Did I actually do that?
This
What?
is this is Tyson's second tight end pickup of the week. So if you ever need a tight end, maybe pick up Tyson's scraps. Although his tight ends usually get injured, so maybe not the best thing. All right, let's go to drop of the week.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, someone moved a little bit early on the news that Josh Gordon was going to be IR'd. This is obviously, of course, subjective, and it'll be based on if Josh Gordon actually makes it onto another team. But they're saying 2 weeks, and the Patriots will probably waive him, and then he'll join what I'm assuming is another team. So it could be bad for Josh, but it could also be nothing. But there's no really bad drops this week, so we couldn't really name anyone else. Maybe
Yeah, the
Philip
thing about
Dorsett.
Josh, there's some upside there, but if he wasn't performing with the Patriots, odds are with another squad, he's probably not going to be sweet. I think too the way it works with him being waived is that like he's going to waivers, so the shittiest teams will have first dibs at him. So who knows? He could end up better off, but it might just be more kind of shittiness. But worth taking a shot, Tuan, with the pickup.
Yeah, and I also want to add that I dropped Philip Dorsett right before this news, and I was very upset I did it, and Jaden picked him up right away. All
You
right,
fool.
let's move on to these PRs. Sterling's not moving. He's down at 10. He did pick up a win though, so that's one key thing. I was considering moving him up, but I couldn't quite do it based off his team. So Watson, Sterling recently acquired Watson, and he might end up getting Sterling another win or two. Um, he had 30 points this past week and a beautiful touchdown throw. I don't know if you saw it, but he like spun out of a sack, got kicked in the face, kept on running, and as he's getting sacked, I guess technically for the second time that play, he just throws it off his side foot right to the tight end. It was a beautiful play. This man is turning out to be the better quarterback between him and Lamar Jackson, and I bet you Nick might be kicking himself for trading away this guy. Touchdown Williams strikes again. I don't want to predict like if we were to do this next year at the start of the year, if someone goes on like a 4 touchdown streak, I don't want to predict that they won't get a touchdown or won't get as many touchdowns because it seems like every person I've predicted this is it's gone wrong. And I don't think it's my fault. I think the process is being broken right now because there's these players who are just consistently getting touchdowns and it's ridiculous. Uh,
Cover the man.
yeah, freaking they had like so the funny thing about this is they traded for like the Raiders traded Garyon Conley to the Texans and then exposed Garyon Conley in the game with touchdown Williams. So I just thought that was kind of funny. Deontay Johnson's doing really good with Rudolph back. He's been doing good with Rudolph, but it depends with Rudolph and his injuries. So you're kind of hoping he stays in the game. And Gordon might be washed, but we'll have to see with that new offensive coordinator. Like he had like what was it, 40, 50 scrimmage yards. He was saved by a tug. You kind of expect more from a Bears. Like he did play the Bears, but they're missing like their best run defenders like Akeem Hicks and stuff. So I thought he was gonna have a lot better game because I think I called that he was gonna have at least a double digit, with which he did, but just over.
Didn't he have like a 18-yard rushing touchdown? So that would have been like almost what like well he had 10 points, so like 80% of his points right there.
Yeah, something
So
crazy.
kind of irrelevant for the rest of the
Hmm.
game. Not a bad week from Sterling though to put up over 110 points and get the win with two of his top receivers on bye, Amari Cooper and Gallup. Not too shabby at all.
Yeah, get that W any way you can.
Yeah, still at the bottom here, along with my good friend Dylan, who I am giving nightmares to apparently because I pulled out of trading him Chris Carson. That's right, he did tell me he had a nightmare about that. So sorry, Dylan. I hope you have some sweet dreams tonight, knowing that you're sitting above Sterling on the PR. Maybe that'll help. Maybe you'll be dreaming about David Montgomery having 27 carries and having a breakout game, getting over 100 yards. Maybe his rookie running back upside will finally come to fruition. Yeah, what's his name? What's the coach of the Bears? Why am I not having a
Nagy?
brain fart? Matt Nagy. If Matt Nagy can just decide to give him the ball, which is obviously the right thing to do, you don't want Mitchell Trubisky throwing it 50 times a game. Maybe he can be a top 20 RB for the rest of the season, but who knows, right? We do not know if we can trust Nagy, but it's got to feel good seeing that game. Um, Kyler Murray had a kind of poor week, about 10 points, and he plays San Francisco 2 out of the next 3 weeks. So you might have to get back to starting Dak there, Dylan. Which that should be no problem though, because Dak's been pretty solid. Pretty middling performance from the rest of this team though. Besides DJ Shark had a pretty nice game, but he is traded away. Thanks for that, Dylan.
Selling high, my friend.
Selling high, some say indeed. OBJ was on the bench, limited this week against the Patriots. Will he finally be free from the shackles of Dylan's bench going forward after another mediocre? Who knows? But if this guy sees OBJ as a keeper, I think he really should be willing to give him a start, right? But you don't have reason to be confident starting
Yeah,
OBJ.
that Browns offense is kind of weird. I want to add one thing about Montgomery that Dylan actually brought up to me was that he had like a 55-yard run, and I think that might have been the touchdown, but I'm not 100% sure. But either way,
Oh,
that was a lot of his points. Dylan is not fully trusting in Demont. My inside sources tell me. And Kyler Murray like hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 or 4 weeks. I might be wrong on that stat, but like he's been running it, and which has gotten him the floor. But yeah, I think it's time to move back to Dak.
yeah, 3 weeks since he's thrown a touchdown.
Look
That's
at look at
crazy.
this beautiful man on the screen. You know what this beautiful man got Antoine in fantasy this week? 0 points. I think he got him a tackle on special teams, and that was about it. Brandon frickin' Bolden. Why? Oh my. I understand. I understand he had like almost 30 total points in the past 3 weeks, but that was with Burkhead injured. They didn't have their full complement of running backs. Um, he's not. He plays like fourth fiddle for sure in that backfield, and that's you can't trust the New England backfield. You had Adrian Peterson on your bench, would have got you the dub, but you
Would have
tried
got you
you
the dub.
tried too hard. I think that's just trying too hard, which I like to see out of people that they're trying. Oops, that they're trying too hard. But yeah, I mean that's a Noah level. That's a no level thing, tinkering with your lineup, trying to get it optimized perfectly. Um, Galladay came back in a big way. 1, 2, 3, and 2 tugs. Man, I heard a lot of buy low on Kenny Galladay, buy low, and I was thinking to myself, I should, but then I looked and I didn't really think I'd be able to get a good trade off. And it turns out I probably should have pushed a little harder because Galladay's looking fine. But I don't think Twan was gonna let anyone buy low on Galladay because he loves that man.
No.
He
Yep.
he's considering keeping him, so that's
He knows he's an asset. I've tried to trade for him a couple times throughout the season, but Tuan is pretty sturdy, and that's respectable. He knows his.
yeah, and he's got the QB too, so he's got a good stack there with Stafford and Breeze as well coming back. They're going to be a great tandem, or they can be like a terrible carousel. So we'll have to keep an eye on that because that'll be tough to figure out what quarterback to play. You just got to play the matchups there, I guess. Juju also came back. He had 100 plus in a tug, so you'd like to see that, but it was also against Miami, so who actually knows if that's for real or not?
Yeah, Brandon Bolden, man, gave you the L20. That was a tough one, but close matchup, and you've been trending upwards these last couple of weeks. Now that Saquon's been back, putting up 24 points, that's got to feel good. Knowing that you do have a shot at pushing for wild card. Who knows? Maybe if it wasn't for that stat correction, maybe if it wasn't for that little stat correction. Next, we got James. I encourage you all to take a look at your phones right now and see a fine picture of James in a wheelchair,
Fine picture
look
indeed.
looking smitten there. He had Christian Kirk back this week, who had a nice game after his long injury app. He had 11 targets and he put up a pretty respectable amount of points, so that's got to feel good. Nice receiver you can start there. Mark Walton was a pretty decent pickup. Hey, we didn't consider him for pickup of the week, but I guess that's because he's on the Dolphins and he doesn't know how to hold on to the football either. With a pretty ugly last night, good pickup and somebody you want. Like, he's worth keeping on the bench, but you're never really going to want to start him with that horrendous Dolphins offense. DK Metcalf has the most wide receiver or most red zone targets for a wide receiver in the whole NFL.
I'm shocked.
Really, really filling that Jimmy there, just an end zone beast. He's a huge man. Like, he's got that big physical presence. He's gonna be given a lot of potential contested catches for touchdowns. So he's not super consistent, but he has the touchdown upside. You can go out and start him every week and hope he gets a touchdown even too, right? Uh, Hawkinson, though, why is this guy still on? He has not put up over 5 points in quite some time. I was kind of a 1 week wonder there, week one, but James still has him chilling on the bench, taking up space. Not sure what that's about. And after trading Brissett, he just couldn't go on without having three QBs on his roster. He was scratching for a third QB, so he went up and picked up Philip Rivers, who did nothing for him. Three QBs and Hawkinson, kind of questionable, but who knows, man? Who knows, James? Maybe he'll make wild card.
Yeah, I mean his team has been consistent enough the past few weeks that eventually one of the two of these weeks is going to be a win, and that'll get him 1 week close or one game closer to our next PR rank, our ranked manager, which is Jaden, who's kind of slumping. He's been 0 and 4 in his last 4 weeks. He has not scored above 86 points. Well, he has once scored above 86 points in the last 4 weeks. And the only player on this guy's team that I would be happy to start week in and week out would be the Pats defense. And that's saying something. Like Mixon is on and off. He just traded for him. Um, that's also a questionable move. You just trade for the guy and you think he's got something left and you put him on the bench. Like,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
he did give up a lot,
He gave up a fifth
and
rounder.
he
That's
got
not
he
bad.
got Brissett too, though, right?
Yeah, but he
He
played
started
Brissett, and
him and
Brissett
got
got him
10
10
points.
points. So, I mean, like, you played the wrong guy that you traded for, I guess. Singletary coming back to
Singletary.
some decent touches, gets a tug as well. Ty Johnson, man, that was that a waste of the number one pick? I don't.
I know.
I might be too early to tell, but based off that first game, yes.
Probably, man. It looked like such a sure thing at the time, but yeah, you can't be confident in him going forward.
So the Lions pick up Trey Carson, who's was cut by the Green Bay Packers, and decide to give him the first 3 carries of the game. Like, how is that for filling in for the number one RB there? That's kind of scary. Now watch someone's gonna pick up Trey Carson because they're like, man, he's the number one RB on the Lions. Man, frickin' F1 didn't score. Is this real life? Terry McLaurin didn't score a tug? See, this is what I mean about touchdown regression. At least McLaurin makes me look decent when I say that he's gonna regress. But I mean, I digress. Sorry, I had
Oh,
to. That was terrible.
I liked it.
Do you have anything to add to this team?
No, I called it a couple weeks back. Well, yeah, I guess yes, I do. Yeah, I called it a couple weeks back. I kind of had a feeling he was going to regress, and he's kind of slowly slipped this PR. I guess he could come back and be a contender once Patty Mahomes is back because that'll lift Kelsey up too. But for now, he'll be chilling down here. Uh, it's probably sad that Gordon didn't get traded as a salty Chargers fan and as an Eckler owner. That would definitely boost Eckler's ceiling quite a bit, but they will have to compete for work for the rest of the season. I do reckon.
Yeah, one thing to add is Jaden's pretty heavily invested into the Chargers offense, and they got a new OC, as I mentioned, with Sterling. So we're gonna have to see this next few weeks how they perform, if they perform better or worse than they have been lately.
Next at number 5, we got Kenyon Drake signing with the Cardinals. That has got to hurt a little bit because that shows that there's some serious concerns there for DJ's injury. I'm sure if DJ's healthy, he's going to be the number back. But Kenyon Drake is he's no slouch. I'm sure he's going to eat into that workload somewhat. So that's got to sting, just like Chase Edmonds really goosing you quite a bit, which kind of contributed to that L man. Tough one. Edelman has been quite a stud, though. Breaks into the top 10 wide receivers after another stellar week. He's had 17.6 points per game over the last 4 weeks. He's been really consistent, looking like a top 5 guy. So when Devontae gets back, you're going to have two beastin wide receivers, Ramey. And Devontae is expected to come back this week. So look for this team. He's 500, which is pretty below average for Ramey, but look for him to make a late push. Who knows? Maybe he'll even trade some of those picks away before the deadline to go for the third space. Who knows? We have pictured Jameis Winston on the slide there, fumbling the ball because he is a turnover machine. I think he had a fumble and 2 interceptions this past week, which ended
Something like
up
that.
yeah, he still put up 19 points, but that ended up costing Raby quite a bit. And Jameis is going to have those interceptions, most weeks, which definitely impacts his ceiling quite a bit. If he had Danny Dimes though, would have won the game, Ramey. That's all I got to say. Danny Dimes would have done it for you.
Yeah, I was keeping a close eye on Ramey's weak, obviously, because he was facing me. And Chase Edmonds going down with that injury really hurt him. And yeah, tough break. I mean, Edelman did really great for him, and I was starting to get a little scared, but he didn't have too much happen in that Packers Chiefs game, which ended up sealing it for me. Tyson, number 4. He's moving up 2 spots. I mean, you can't really fault us for moving him up with the way that the Green Bay Packers are playing. And this
Oh,
man is heavily invested in the Green Bay Packers. He's got
my boys.
not one, not two, but 3 Green Bay Packers, which all could see his starting lineup. Yes, I'm saying it now. He could flex Jamal Williams, as I said last week, but I was definitely wrong on that point that Williams could be the better player. Um, they believe in Aaron Jones. He's freed. He is now free. It only took LaFleur and getting rid of McCarthy and everything to finally see Aaron Jones free from the shackles of being a like super heavy committee running back. I mean, Williams is still out there, but they're playing like 10 to 15% of their snaps with both of them out there, I think. Like that's really good for both Tyson and I think the Packers because it's working for them for sure. Aaron Rodgers turning back into the GOAT. He's playing the way I wanted him to play when I picked him as the first QB last year. Gurley is super touchdown dependent though, man. He is not looking very good. I think I saw a stat by PFF, and I know everyone loves PFF, but Gurley was like the 25th most elusive running back in the league. But you want to know who's number 1? The guy that didn't matter, Darrell Henderson. He's apparently the number 1 elusive running back per touch by PFF. So you say he might not matter, but he might end up mattering near the end, which is what I was scared about, but I needed to make up roster space. Hopkins is finally turning back up. He's had a lot of catches and a lot of receiving yards after these past 2 weeks when I called him out for being a bum. So he's making me look bad, which is what happens a lot, it seems, in this PR. The more and more I talk about stuff in this PR, the more and more I look like an idiot, and people wonder why I'm always number 1.
You were roasting Tyson's team hard last week for some reason, and he just really made a statement,
I
man.
know.
Really made a statement.
Yeah, I was definitely wrong, but I mean his team has been inconsistent though. Like he's 5-3, but he has more points against than points for. So like when he loses crazy hard, but when he wins, he still puts up enough points. And Cook has mashed patat brain again, you know?
That is some bad brain.
You gotta wonder how many more mashed patat he can have before he's done because he's been hit hard so many times in the head.
Yeah, Cooks has been pretty much a non-factor this season. Not really returning at all for where you drafted him, but they just gotta. I don't even know, man. Give him a couple weeks at least to let that mashed patat heal up a little bit. Even after that, man, I don't think you can put Cooks in your lineup, and that's as a owner of Cooks in my second league. Like I am, I'm not starting that mashed patat. But yeah, man, the Packers. I love it, man. I love it so much. The thing is, it's not even that he's free in the sense of being the number one back, like as a committee sort of thing, because it still is a committee. It's just the fact that they're actually using him in the passing game and taking advantage of that skill set, which is like he's such a great receiver, man.
Hmm.
He's been the number one receiver with Devontae out and like putting him up against linebackers, running some deep routes, and he's just shredding them, man. Like I love it. It feels so good to see a coach that actually knows how to use a player to their strength.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to preface this next one, and there's been some trickery afoot, and there's
Oh
been
no
some
no no!
deception,
Don't
and
even,
I need Josh to explain himself for this next one.
Nick. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Nick. You should never believe a PR leak, man. You thought that arrow was going to be pointing the other way, but we snuck you down a spot. And it feels wrong because you had such a good week, man. You really did. You put up the second most. Con Dog came out with a huge week and got you the win, man, on Monday night. But I just, it's another team that's better than yours, Nick, and I'm sorry about that. But Con Dog got you the win. His injury concerns are concerning to me. Apparently, this injury is minor, though. It's a AC joint sprain, and he's expected to play this week. But I think that's more games than not that he's exited with some sort of injury. So he's fine right now, but one of these is going to be the big one, man. I hope not, but it's concerning. Prison Mike had a go at it today, showing that no, not that little peasant lost guy. He's saying, "No, I'm the number one. Boy, sit down." It's funny how those two can never seem to really go off on the same week. It's kind of like it really teeter tots back and forth.
Yeah.
But it was Prison Mike's turn, and besides a couple of bust games, he's been a wide receiver one, man. It's good to see. Arians has just elevated that offense overall. But this next guy, Zach Ertz, spelled Eartz, as Sterling spelled it, and now I can't get that spelling out of my head, so I just spell it like Ertz. Can he be trusted moving forward?
No.
The last 3 games, he's put 4.4 points per game. They are not giving him those red zone. They are looking at Goddard in the red zone because they know the defense is watching Ertz. You traded quite a bit for. He's still a great player. You probably start him, but you can't trust him. You can't feel happy about it, man. Especially giving up that juicy second round pick. Ooh, look, he's winning a lot of these trades, man. Sterling's it's not too shabby. Jordan Howard had a very nice week against the Bills. Put up like 17. Perfect time to sell him high, but I don't know if there's any buyers. I really don't. Keep trying though. Keep trying. You might sell him. Who knows? Tyler Boyd is probably he's been it's been less consistent since I traded him to Nick, but now that Ryan Finley is being promoted to the Bengals, that lowers his ceiling quite a bit. That's can't feel as safe trusting him or starting him. Sorry.
Yeah, like I feel like Boyd is the kind of receiver though that a rookie QB will gravitate towards, especially in the shorter, shallow end. I think it
That's
hurts
true.
someone like an AJ Green more who might be coming back soon.
Oh.
Yeah, Nick, we're sorry, but I'm more scared of one other team, and I'd rather not face them, which I have to this week, and that's Josh. I don't want to face you this week because I wanted that perfect first round robin, and I feel like I could have faced you another week when I wasn't missing some key players, but you are as well. You got Julio and Cup on buys, but still.
And Matty Rice.
Okay, like, come on, that guy isn't gonna get you anything. You got Kirk Cousins who got you 10 points this past week, right?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for another 10.
Super boom bust QB, it seems. Like, it seems he's good and then he's bad. Like,
Oh,
you
he
don't.
did have a good week, and they just couldn't punch it in. Like he played
Yeah,
good.
he had no tugs, so that was the main reason.
Yeah,
But they all went to your
Dalvin.
boys, Dalvin and Madison. Did Madison have one?
No, but
Oh,
he
they had a lot of
was
field
pretty
goals.
close.
That's why I was like, I'm pretty sure they scored enough points. But yeah, definitely. All the tugs went to Cook, so you can't be too mad.
No, I can't
Like I
be.
said, this team scares me. He's got Chark now, so that gives him another solid receiver 3. Coleman as a flex. Ugh, come on. Why? It's good with Breida possibly being injured. Who knows how long that's gonna be though. Sanders is finally warmed up. He's he's that RB1 in that backfield. He's so explosive. Even if he doesn't get the touches like an RB1, he can be sort of like, I'm not gonna say a Kamara, but a Kamara light, where he can turn a reception into a 25, 30-yard gain. I think he has like more 25-yard or 20-yard catches than like a lot of the great receivers out there right now. So it's kind of crazy. He's just been turning those uh those like kind of dump offs into big gains. And yeah, as we said before, Sutton is losing a little bit of value with Brandon Allen, the QB3, the GOAT that's going to bring us to the promised land, which is extra value in our draft picks. But actually, he actually looked pretty decent in some preseason games that he's done. Oh man, that's terrible sound. You should not do that. Um,
What the heck was that?
I don't
What?
know. It sounded like you were scratching your mic. Um,
Did it? Oh, what the fuck?
either way,
I think I was playing with my little USB port. That's what it
oh,
was.
stop it, man.
I did it. I know it's like
That's what
biting my
wrecks
nails.
it.
It's a bad habit.
Oh, we figured it out. It's Josh's computer. Well,
It,
we don't know why.
it's not.
It won't accept input properly when he has headphones on. But when he has the headphones out, if it works great, but then you hear me echo. So this is what we have to deal with for now until this boy
This.
pumps in money into a new computer, apparently,
Yeah,
which won't happen
there's no
anytime
winning.
soon.
Hell no.
All right. You got anything you want to defend anything that I made fun of? I didn't really make fun of your team at all. I just
Oh,
praised it a lot.
no, it just good. Feels good to hear some whimpers and whines about how scared you are, man.
Yeah, like
It
I wanted to
really, it
go
really
9 and
pumps me
0.
up, buddy. Oh, I already got the meme made up for
Oh
when I beat
no.
you this week. I got it made already, buddy. I can't wait. I better not lose or else it's going to be really disappointing.
It would be disappointing. But let's move on to the number 1.
Lastly, the perp boy, perp skirp,
Perp skirt.
Noah Janney, making a new color because that's how elite he thinks his team is, guys.
Man,
This
this
guy, this guy is flexing on us right here. He's making a new color in the first time of all of PR. Purple is introduced. What do you? Why, Noah? What do you
Hey
have to say about
Josh,
that?
I think this PR is biased. Why are the two hosts ranked 1 and 2?
Is that the voice of public opinion?
That's the voice of Vetogate, you know?
That's the video game boys. Yeah, yeah. Well, boys, you know what? She got active and did some trades and managed your team. You guys could find yourself in the perp skirp category. Anyways, this guy deserves it. His team is elite. He made a G move to pick up Gardner Minshew and start him over Wentz with a
Hmm.
tougher matchup this week against Buffalo. And Gardner got enough points to get him the win, whereas with Wentz he would not have beat Ramey. So that is a smart manager decision. You know, a lot of people just roll out their QB1, but playing the matchup is always relevant with QBs, and it kept you undefeated. So, you know, that's what separates the good managers from the mediocre managers right there. Lat Murray continues to shine. He's been doing better than Kamara, absolutely tearing it apart. He might, who knows? Maybe he'll eat into some of Kamara's work. I'm sure that won't even be an issue, though, because they will both thrive. But Lat has been looking good,
Yeah, it could be like a Kamara
proving, if
Ingram thing
anything,
like before.
Kamara is a system running back.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely a
Considering
system
that
running back.
another running back's done the same thing Lat Murray's done in that with Ingram before, so
I
definitely
would
system.
probably sell Alvin Kamara for really
I
cheap if
mean,
I could.
would I need to sell Alvin if he's gonna stay in the system?
Oh, yeah, I guess not. Hey, you could probably just keep both of them.
I'll keep all 3 of my Saints, you know?
I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Godwin taking the back seat from Prison Mike. I'm not too concerned though. He'll have some lower weeks. And it's not like he completely busted. I think he still got like 6 points, but he's not always going to be putting up those huge games. They're going to take some turns, but I wouldn't stress too much about that. Robert Woods though, he has no receiving touchdowns on the season, and
Ugh.
like Brandon, he has not lived up to that draft price at all. Like Goff just has eyes for Cup, man, and he does not care about anyone else because Cup is his boy, and I love it. Keep Woods touchdown free. Give him all to Cooper. No, 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 no. Devontae Parker has been quiet. He's been a pretty nice waiver pickup, actually. Could have put him on pickup of the week a couple weeks ago, but we decided to go with Corey into house instead. But Parker has been, besides one game against the Patriots, he's been putting up good numbers. The only other thing about this team is AJ Green not traded. Thank God he did not get traded to the Saints, as Noah saw some rumors of, and he panicked a little bit. But he is supposed to be returning, but sadly with Ryan Finley as his QB, so upside might be a little lost there. But still, just to have him back is it's going to be good. Once like after you paid for him, AJ Green's such an elite receiver. He will make Ryan Finley a better QB.
Yeah, like I think that we'll have to be obviously wait and see with that because I don't really know what AJ Green's gonna do when he comes back. And yeah, like with Godwin, he doesn't have as low of a floor as Mike Evans does when Godwin busts or goes off, but man, Mike Evans just has a way higher ceiling as we can see as we've seen in those two amazing weeks from him. So they're kind of both like the 1A 1B, even not even 1A 1B, just like they're both the one.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's just like any given week, one of them can go off, and they're both going to be good for fantasy. And sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So I'm
Exactly.
not going to take the L on saying Godwin is for sure the one, but I mean, I was more right than most people because most people thought Godwin was going to take a huge backseat. So, yeah, let's get to the stonk market. So, as I said, this is the rainbow week because we have 6 different tiers. So, I slotted myself into, or we slotted me into the buy favorite because I do have a 2-win lead on Nick, which is the highest in or the next highest in my division, but I think I should be able to secure that buy. I might not though, so we'll see. Because Josh and Nick are both in the high tier playoff um, tier, and we've got Tyson and Ramey in the low tier playoff that should make playoffs, but you never know, something can happen. And Jaden's a wild card right now, just with his sliding down and stuff. I didn't really want to put him in the low tier playoff, but I couldn't put him any lower, so I kind of made it an own tier for him, or we did. And James and Antoine, they've got dreams for wild card, and they've been kind of consistent with points. I mean, Twan's had over 20 in 2 of the past 4 weeks, or 120 in 2 of the past 4 weeks, and James has had over 100 in the past 4 weeks for sure. So, and Dylan trading away kind of moved him down into the wax bowl, and Sterling we kind of know is gonna be sticking there. So, and the Danny Debt report is stonk up.
Stonks.
Got some good matchups this
Matchups
week.
for this week. Do we have some good ones? Ooh, yeah, the Noah, you and me going for the number one spot in the PR. Some say. Do they say that,
Mm,
Noah?
I like
I.
I would be up 2 wins on you still, but
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we could
true.
definitely consider it if you beat
We'll have
me.
to see. It's hard to say too because both of us don't have our full lineup. So if I beat this week, it's like I don't think I can move you down.
Yeah.
But a hype matchup nonetheless. Sterling and Antoine. Antoine's looking for that win to keep those wild card dreams alive. And I think Sterling. I know he's there to get some upsets, and who knows, maybe he'll sneak in. He had a big upset over Jaden this last week. Tyson and Jaden is a pretty good matchup. Two playoff hopefuls there with similar records. Should be a tight one. Yeah, the other two matchups are good this week too. Dylan and James, another one of those wild card hopefuls versus a team who has kind of been given up as of late, but both 2-6. Both looks like Dylan's the favorite right now. James is probably missing some guys from his lineup. That's not a huge worry. And then Ramey and Nick is another spicy matchup.
Yeah, we'll see if Ramy can stay above 500. So I also want to just mention because we're coming near the end of this, and I have surpassed Ramy for most wins all time in Gate history with that last win over him.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Woo.
he's been dethroned finally. So now I own most wins and points for average. So
And
can't wait for someone
therefore,
to dethrone me. But
unlikely.
well, I do have
Unlikely.
quite a sizable lead on most other people. Because Ramy and I have been doing it well for a long time. Anyway,
I
we're
think with your fantasy dedication, Noah, I think you're gonna stay there for life.
Yeah,
Who knows though? Who
it's
knows?
fun.
Maybe Nick will dethrone you. Nick lives.
Nick lives for the PR, he lives for the chat, he lives for the trade negotiations, he lives for fantasy.
He probably stopped listening
He
at
he
this
stopped
point
listening
after he
after
found out.
you put him 3.
He probably deleted phone, muted me in the group chats and shit like that.
Yeah,
Our friendship is over.
he's gonna leave the chat for sure. Anyway, we don't want to blabber on any longer because we are over 45
Hey,
minutes
one
now. So,
thing.
oh, it's 45
Noah,
minutes, man.
do you want to make a water bet on who wins this week?
Between me and you? No,
Yeah.
I don't.
Why?
Because
What?
I'll make a water bet that you beat me.
No.
Okay, see, there
Okay,
you go.
that's a wrap, folks.
Well, week 9, that's in the books for PR, and we'll see you for next week. Let's get some hype trades before the trade deadline, which is in 13 days, I believe. So let's see it. Let's see
Yeah,
them
let's get
trades.
it going, boys. Spice it up a little bit.
All right. Well, we'll see ya, and stay little
And
tuned.
remember, boys, yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Stay.
I took it from you.
That's okay. I interrupted you. It's just going to be messy, anyways.
All right. See ya, boys.